electroforces. So if you have not seen before this the properties of colloidal solution, you may watch. You go to my channel and can see the all videos related to this chapter. So here our topic is electroforces. What is electroforces? Here two words, we can divide it in two parts. Means it is my point. You can divide like this. Electro means electric. Forces, they need forces. So I have written force. Okay. So what does mean of that? Means when colloidal solution, when colloidal particles move due to electric force. When colloidal particles move due to electric force is called electroforces. Is called electroforces. So we can define it like this: the movement of colloidal particles. The movement of colloidal particles under and applied. The movement of colloidal particles under and applied electric potential. Under and applied electric potential is called electroforces. The process of movement of colloidal particle under an electric potential, electric force, is called electroforces. It can be understood by following experiment. So what we have seen that we have already discussed that colloidal particles carry either positive or negative charge. When colloidal solution is filled in this and two electrodes are applied, when it is connected, so it has been observed the colloidal particles move towards oppositely charged electrode. Oppositely charged electrode means positive colloid move to negative electrode and negative colloid move to positive electrode. So like this it has been observed, and by this it coagulates the colloidal solution. It coagulates the colloidal solution. So what we have seen here, we can write initial level like this. We can show this diagram is made in your book. Also you may see there clearly. So what we have seen, when the colloidal solutions are taken in this and electric is applied. Electric is applied, so the colloidal particles move towards the oppositely charged electrode. Positive particles to negative and negative to positive. Okay. So it depends on what type of colloid they have taken. So this is electroforces, and what we have seen, it is colloidal particles. So when electric connections is given to this, the particles move towards electrode, and this is called electroforces. This is called electroforces. And next is electroosmosis. What is electroosmosis? You have not to be confused here. Electroosmosis. What is electroosmosis? So what is electroosmosis, and when it is said to be electroosmosis? When electrophorus is said to be electroosmosis. When by some means we stop the movement of colloidal particles toward electrode, when we stop the movement of colloidal particles toward electrode, the dispersion medium also start to move electrode. Dispersion medium also start to move electrode, and this is called electroosmosis. This is called electroosmosis. Means electrophoresis and electroosmosis. In electrophoresis, colloidal particles move, but when we stop the movement of colloidal particles by any means or by some means, the dispersion medium also start to move colloidal, start to move electrode. That is called electroosmosis. Electroosmosis. And if colloidal particles only move, that is called electrophoresis. So you remember it. Osmosis and electrophoresis are two different terms, but both takes place during electrophoresis. Our next topic is, our topic is coagulation or precipitation. So you may not be familiar with that word, but you are familiar with precipitation. Coagulation is new word for us, and we have already discussed this. So what is precipitation? Means formation of bigger particles. Formation of bigger particles, and that change in solid form. That change in solid form, like this, maybe AgCl, and in 11th class you have studied in removal of permanent hardness. Removal of permanent hardness. So in that washing soda method you might be remembering. You have studied. That's why I am taking this one. So what is precipitation? Means the process of settling, the process of setting of colloidal particles. The process of setting of colloidal particles. The process of setting of colloidal particles is called precipitation or coagulation. The process of setting, the process of setting colloidal particle, the process of setting colloidal particles is called coagulation or precipitation. Is called coagulation or precipitation. Precipitation means the process of setting. Means if I am taking here colloidal solution, like any colloidal solution I have taken, milk colloidal solution. So when milk is taken as a colloidal solution, when we add little vinegar in it or sour substance like lemon and other, its particles get coagulate and they change their shape like this. This is called coagulation or precipitation. Coagulation or, and why it happens? How does coagulation or precipitation happens? What is the reason? It happens when the electrical charge of colloidal particles are what? Are neutralized by adding opposite charge. Means you know that colloidal particles either may be positive or negatively charged. So if we are adding positive charge, okay, it will neutralize and it will form coagulate. Here negative charge, it will form coagulate. So this is the coagulation, neutralization of electrical charge of colloidal particles by any means, by some means, causes coagulation or precipitation of colloidal solution. Causes precipitation or coagulation of colloidal solution. So coagulation can be done by various methods. The coagulation of the Lyafovic salt can be done by following methods. Some methods are like this. By electrophoresis, by mixing up to oppositely charged salt, by boiling, by persistence dialysis or prolonged dialysis, and by addition of electrolyte. So, by electrophoresis, we have discussed. In electrophoresis, colloidal charged particles get collected at opposite electrodes. Coagulation. By mixing of, we have already discussed that colloid carry either positive charge or negative charge. So, a positively charged colloid is mixed with negatively charged, so they will neutralize to each other and they will form coagulate. They will form precipitate, and that is called coagulation. By boiling, sometime if we boil, so dispersion medium may be disappear, like if water is dispersion medium, if you have boil, so particles dispersed phase will remain in the container, by that we can coagulate. By persistent dialysis, here. So if we are doing persistent dialysis, means prolonged dialysis, means we are doing this long process dialysis. After dialysis means after some time we will get coagulate form of dispersed phase. By addition of electrolyte, this is very important. By addition of electrolyte, so if we add electrolyte to colloidal solution, they coagulate the colloidal solution. That if excess of particles, it means excess of electrolytes are there, they causes coagulation. So if we added extra electrolyte, that will coagulate the colloid solution. So following methods are there. There are 5 methods. By that we can coagulate, we can precipitate the colloidal solution. So here, and we discuss 5 factors. Other factors are also there, but what is in our syllabus? This much is in our syllabus. So we will discuss this much only. Okay, we have not to go beyond the NCERT. So these are the factors that cause coagulation of colloidal solution. So our last topic was that addition of electrolyte. When electrolyte is being added to colloidal solution, they precipitate. So we can say that when excess of electrolyte is added, colloidal particles are precipitate. When excess of electrolytes added, colloidal particles precipitated. colloidal particle precipitated. So a negatively charged ion precipitate to positively charged colloid, and a positively charged ion precipitate to negatively charged colloid. Means negatively colloid is being precipitated by positively ions by adding positively ions, and negatively positively charged are being precipitated by adding negatively ions here. So we can see that one word we will use here, flocculation. Flocculation ion. Flocculation ions. It is new word. Flocculation ion means the ion which is going to precipitate, which is going to neutralize the charge of colloidal particles. Flocculation ion means which is going to neutralize the charge of colloidal particles. Okay. So one thing we will discuss here, the valency of flocculation ion directly proportional to the coagulation. So valency of flocculation ions directly proportional to coagulation. It means flocculation ions have higher valency, they will coagulate the colloidal solution at a higher rate. For example, if we take, for example, some positively and negatively charged colloids are there. So we will use positively charged flocculation ions or negatively flocculation ion. And one word, valency of flocculation ion directly proportional to the coagulation. Directly proportional to the coagulation. So here what we have seen, valency of flocculation ion directly proportional to coagulation. So it can be defined as greater the valency of the flocculating ion, greater the valency of flocculating ions are added, the greater is the power of precipitation. So we can write like this: greater is the valency of flocculating ions added greater is its power to precipitate. And this is called Hardy-Sulzella. Here what we can see there, what? So what we have seen there, greater the valency of flocculation ion added, greater is its power to precipitate, and this is known as Hardy-Sulzella. Means if valency is different, then it will precipitate the same colloidal solution at a different rate. So what? Here, in coagulation of negative Scholl, the coagulation power is in the order. Means if Scholl is negative, if Scholl is, means colloidal Scholl is negative, and the coagulation power is in the order. Means if we are using the ions to coagulate negatively charged colloid, so the order of coagulation is in this order: Al, then Ba plus 2 and Na plus. Means first Al plus 3, then Ba plus 2 and then Na plus. Means balance of that is plus 3, 3, 2 and 1. Okay. So we can say the valency, as the valency of ions increases, the coagulating power of flocculating ions increase. If we are taking positively charged Scholl, the flocculating power is in the order. The flocculating power is in the order like this: 4 minus, 3 minus, 2 minus and 1 minus. So it is very important question and very important for all of you, for your competition and for you board also. So we can say directly the valency of flocculating ions is directly proportional to the coagulation power. Valency of ions, and what we have is flocculating ion, directly proportional to coagulation. Means if ions have higher valency, they will coagulate the Scholl at a faster rate, and we can say the coagulating power of that ion is higher than other ions who have lesser valency or their valency are less. So we discussed here. Next point is, so here we see that how much quantity needed means for coagulating and how much time it take to coagulate. We discussed that coagulation, but you may be confused how much time it needs and how much quantity needed, and what is coagulation value. Some coagulation value also there, they play some role, so that we will discuss. So here we discuss coagulation and factors, where different factors they have affected the coagulation and they have in coagulation. So next is coagulation value. Coagulation value. Okay. So what is coagulation value? Just I would like to tell you. Means colloidal solution. This mostly is salt. Okay. And for coagulation, in how much time? In 2 hours. How much? 1 milliliter. Okay. So here from this we can define. How we can define it? Here we can define like this: the amount of, or we can say the minimum amount required, so we can define it like this. Sorry for that. Here the minimum amount of electrolyte required in milliliter. the minimum amount of electrolyte required in milliliter to coagulate colloidal solution in 2 hours is called coagulation value. Again we can define, from here you can define it. Let me see. Okay, so how can you define it? Could you be able to define? Yes, you can define it. The minimum amount of electrolyte required in milliliter to coagulate colloidal solution in 2 hours is called coagulation value. And coagulation value here, coagulation value is inversely related to coagulation value. If coagulation value is less, that will coagulate the colloidal solution very easily. So here we have discussed the coagulation value. So maybe some question asked on this that coagulation value may be given, and it may ask the questions what is being asked in board, that 2-3 compounds coagulation value given and asking which one is able to coagulate that given colloidal solution. So like this question you may get in a board also and a competition. So today we have discussed these points. Let us move to next topic. Our next topic is coagulation of lyophilic colloids. So coagulation of lyophilic colloids we will discuss it. So stability of lyophilic colloid is due to charge and solvation. Due to charge and solvation of colloidal particles. If these two factors are removed, coagulation occurs. It would be easy to coagulate. Means charge and solvation of colloidal particles are removed, that prevent the coagulation. If we remove these two factors, coagulation will occur. Next, here, so how we can remove that? By adding electrolyte and by adding a suitable solvent. Two methods, by adding electrolyte and by adding suitable solvent. Here, so let us discuss lyophilic colloids. Little salt is stable due to charge and solvation of the colloidal particles. It is stable due to charge and solvation of colloidal particles. When these two factors are removed, a lyophilic colloid gets coagulated. It can be removed by adding electrolyte, by adding an electrolyte, and second by adding a suitable solvent. So we have already discussed that by adding a suitable, by adding an electrolyte. So by adding a solvent, how we can coagulate? Let us see. When a solvent such as alcohol and acetone are added to hydrophilic salt, they dehydrate. Dehydration of disperse phase occurs. When alcohol and acetones are added to the lyophilic colloids, dehydration occurs. Well, after that, if we add a small amount of electrolyte, that causes coagulation. On adding small quantity of electrolyte, coagulation occurs. So what we have seen here, coagulation of electrophilic colloids are stable due to charge and solvation of the colloidal particles. If these two factors are removed, the colloidal lyophilic colloid will coagulate very easily. So we can remove it by adding suitable electrolyte and second by adding solvation. So by adding suitable solvent, if we are adding a suitable solvent like alcohol and acetone, so they dehydrate the disperse phase, and after that if we add a small amount of electrolyte, that coagulate the colloidal solution is alkali solution.